I thought he was excellent. I thought he got better as the game went on, man. But I'm not surprised by that, man. It's been a while since he's played some ball, but I thought he settled in, knocked the rust off, man, and distributed the ball around and played well.
Yeah, he sure did play well. A quarterback rating of 109. Kenny Pickett didn't do that. Mitch Trubisky didn't do that. Justin Fields didn't do that. Mason Rudolph did it 3 times. Russell Wilson, 264 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, sacked just 1 time. Seemed to move around pretty well for a guy who's quote-unquote not mobile, huh, Doran?
Yeah, he did.
And Mike Tomlin looks like a genius, and Mike Tomlin deserves a lot of credit. It's not an easy thing to do, to bench your 4-2 quarterback, who I don't think was the problem in the offense. But this guy's a better passer. They saw it in practice. Mike Tomlin apparently told Jay Glazer that this decision was all on him. A couple of different reports that came out during the day yesterday said that, yeah, there was some dissension. There were some disagreements, that not everyone was on board with this decision. I bet you they are now. And I feel better about the Steelers than I have in a long time. Probably since the week leading up to the Steelers getting their doors blown off by the San Francisco 49ers in Game 1 last year. Kenny had the perfect preseason. The offense looked good. We expect the defense to be great. I feel really good about this team. And I got a feeling Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. All right, I'm not going that far. But Doran, the decision by Mike Tomlin, I don't think was super popular. The crowd turned on Russ after 3 straight 3-and-outs. They turned on Tomlin after 3 straight 3-and-outs. And at the end of the game, 37 points, and maybe their most complete victory in years. How you feeling?
I knew that it was a must-win. And the biggest winner of that game last night was Mike Tomlin making that decision. Him making that decision really on his own and trusting his eye, trusting that Russ can bring something to this team that Justin Fields couldn't. And, talking to some people before the game and just kind of almost reassuring myself whenever you have a veteran quarterback like that, like practices do look different. The pace is different. Everything is different. The tempo is different. The atmosphere is different. And you saw that come to life throughout the game. And I think that we knew, or at least some of us knew, and to just have a normal mind to understand that Russ hasn't played football in a long time, that it wasn't going to look clean at first. Like, he had to settle in. Like, there was going to be Russ to knock off, but it didn't take that long. It did not take that long. And you just see the difference. And this is not to slight Justin Fields at all. Please, it's not. He can get there at one point in his career. He's still decently young. But how can you ignore a quarterback that has won a Super Bowl, been to 2 Super Bowls, and is in his 13th year, and last year was 26 for 8 on the year and 20 touchdowns in the red zone? Like, he can still play. He could still move. He could still escape the pocket. He could still throw on the move. He could still extend plays. Like, the offense looked different. The feel was different. You just finally saw a competent quarterback that, was wearing the black and gold, which you really haven't seen in years. And it was very refreshing.
It was. And for the first time in a very long time, we get to come in here on a Victory Monday and talk about a team that put up points, that buried the opposition, 31 consecutive points.
Yes.
That was complete in all 3 phases of the game. And so often we come in here and it's, well, the Steelers won and that's good. You should be happy, but they're not going to beat the Chiefs. They can't score with the Ravens or the Bills. And I'm not walking up in here today with my head held high saying this team is really going to win the Super Bowl or anything like that. But in order to win a playoff game, which has been the stated goal, you have to score points.
Yeah.
And they're now 16th in the NFL in scoring, which is smack dab in the middle, which is a significant difference over last year. They're averaging 23 points a game. They scored 32 last week. They score 37 this week. And you feel like they're not just getting by. We're looking for that sustainability. And I think they found a way to win that could win a playoff game. And That's what Mike Tomlin was looking for.
Yeah.
And I think we did a good job last week because I wanted to see Justin Fields. But we spent a great amount of time on Friday trying to understand the decision. And when Mike Tomlin said on Tuesday that we've been very good at times, not to be confused with great, for the first time, I think, in his career, or at least in a long time, Mike Tomlin admitted winning isn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just finding ways to get the dub, it's how you win. And he got rewarded in a big way, and so did a lot of these guys offensively. George Pickens, got to be happy today. 5 for 111 and a touchdown, long of 44. Second most targets in a game this year, second most yards in a game this year. Pat Freiermuth, 2 for 51. He gets the paycheck. It's been underwhelming so far, not all because of him. 2 for 51. Van Jefferson caught a touchdown. Amazing. Mike Tomlin found exactly what he's looking for. And hopefully they do it again next week and take care of business against a bad New York Giants football team. They're a 5.5-point favorite already. I just looked. And you want to see some consistency, but they did something they don't do. They put a team away.
Yeah.
Consecutive weeks.
Yeah.
I feel good about this team.
Like, it is amazing whenever you do throw the football and throw it down the field and have that consistency at that position, what that can actually do for your identity and makeup of what you want to be. And we saw that come to life for real last night. Like, they want to run the football, but they got to running the football because they had a quarterback that knew where he wanted to go with the football, anticipated throws, and threw guys open at times, and completed a lot of chunk plays that opened up Najee Harris. And that's exactly how they want to play. If we want to have a definition of what they wanted to do this year, and you drew it and you wrote it down on paper, and everything on paper it always looks good because it's on paper. You don't really have to do it. It just, everything looks good. It's like our nice roster of a bunch of all-stars. Yeah, it looks good, but can they play together? So you write down what the Steelers want to be as an offense on paper, and then you want to see it come to life. You saw it come to life exactly what they wrote down on paper before the season last night. Like, that's exactly what they want to do. They want to open the run up with the pass, or vice versa at time. But last night, they wanted to get that going, and then Najee Harris didn't look what happened. And look at Jaylen Warren. That's just the most balanced football I've seen them play in a long time.
As a team, too.
As a team, too, as well, yes.
149 yards on the ground, 264 yards through the air. They went the entire Matt Canada tenure without going over 300 yards. They went for 406 last night. And Beanie Bishop with 2 massive interceptions. The first one, I think, changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
First one changed the game. Rodgers seemed to be, and that offense seemed to be feeling it at the time. You thought maybe they'd go down there and get points, and they were going to get the ball after halftime, and you thought, okay, this one's teetering on maybe getting away from the Steelers. Beanie Bishop picks the ball off, and they score 31 unanswered points. So the defense made plays when they needed to.
Yep.
Special teams should have had 2 blocks. Bad call on the first one.
Yes.
And then you blocked a field goal, which 6 guys could have blocked it.
Mm-hmm.
6 guys could have blocked the thing. Last week, Jeremiah Moon. Week before that, you block a field goal. That's 3 straight weeks. So special teams is great. Defense gives up 15 points against a star-studded lineup there for the Jets. Like, we knew, you talk about rust with Russell Wilson, and it would take some time. Well, Rodgers and Davante Adams weren't going to be this finished product in game 1. They got dudes over there. Breece Hall's really good.
Yep.
Garrett Wilson's really good. Alan Lazard is a good threat. Davante Adams. Mike Williams is like their 5th or 6th option. Maybe he'll be a Pittsburgh Steeler. More on that later. They got guys. And you give up 15 points. It didn't always look pretty, especially when Breece Hall was touching the football. Defense played great. Offense played great. Time of possession, which has been so big for the Steelers this season, an area where we felt like they need to excel in. Last night, the Steelers held the ball for 32 minutes. Complete game.
Yeah.
Complete game. They looked like a contender last night, no?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we saw what Buffalo and the New York Jets looked like last week. That was a battle. That was a tug of war.
Mm-hmm.
That was a desperate Jets team 2 weeks in a row, and they gave Buffalo everything they could handle last week, and the Steelers blew them out of the water. When you look at the standings, the Steelers right now would host a playoff game against the Los Angeles Chargers. The Steelers already beat the Chargers, and this version of the Steelers looks better than that version of the Steelers. You got Denver, Indianapolis, Los Angeles. I'm not trying to get way too ahead of myself here, but just think about this. They want to win a playoff game. The way you do that is you play at home, you win the division, and you get LA or Indy or Denver.
Right.
That's how you win a playoff game at home.
Yep.
And then you see what happens from there. They're in that position right now, and you got a great shot to go 6-2.